Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. In this video we're going to take a look at the Cardano price and the Bitcoin price and what they're both doing. What a day yesterday. I was really tired at the end, after that live stream as well, because it is hard work actually, but it was really enjoyable. Really loved it, really did not regret that I didn't go to London, but that I stayed at home with my family and enjoyed the virtual world. I liked it. I found it really good. Yes, some of these announcements, it always is with every summit. Not every video interests you and not every announcement interests you. But there were a few good ones, and I'll do a video later before the beginning of the secondary of the summit and give you a summary about them. But I found it really enjoyable. Loved the virtual world. Loved to interact with the community in the live stream. I really enjoyed that much more compared to going to a, let's call it, real life event and meet a few people I didn't know. So I really loved, staying in that chat room and saw the videos and chatted with some of you guys who joined the live stream. And I'll do another live stream today before the summit starts actually, and then let it run till the end of the summit, because I think that some of the best announcements will probably be announced today. I can't imagine that that was everything. I mean, there were really good announcements and good partnerships, but I think they haven't been mind-blowing yet, at least not to me. So I imagine there is something more big coming, and if not, to be honest, I'll be a little bit disappointed, even though there are a lot of good partnerships and so on going on. But I would expect a little bit more from their hype that they did before. So let's see. And also, if I was organizing a summit, I would leave the best announcement to the second day. All right, let's start with what the price is doing. Let's start with Bitcoin briefly. And again, I've put timestamps in the video description. What we can see is not much. On the daily here, we can see that Bitcoin isn't moving at all. We are still at that 42,000 range. So when that is always happening, it always indicates that we are in some sort of a pattern, and we're going to take a closer look at that. We can still see on the daily we are in the bearish range on the RSI. We are in the red on the MACD. We've crossed the zero line to the downside a couple of days ago, and the MACD line doesn't show any sign of recovery, and also the downtrend seems to accelerate on the ADX. It was a short signal here on the 6th of September, and since that we haven't seen a reverse really. So again, I stick currently with my prediction or with my scenario that we come down once more. I can't see a change in the ADX, and what you need to imagine is that institutional investors look at this as well, and it is too much risk for some of them to invest. For example, if the ADX is giving a short signal, why would they go long? That is something that, for example, needs to change. And maybe I could imagine when we get down here to the oversold area that we will get a bounce back, but at the moment it's just going down and accelerating in the downtrend, which can also be seen on the ADX. Let's just have a final look on the 1 hour chart, see if we can see any pattern emerging. And yes, we can. It is some sort of a double bottom potentially forming here that would indicate that, double top forming here, which, yesterday I said I could imagine that we break once more to the downside, and I think this could be that that pattern that might really push that way to the downside. And what we can see, actually, we made a higher high here, made a lower high here, and now seems to push the price once more again away from the price and made another lower high. And we can see that when we zoom in, and it is even something like a descending triangle here on the smaller scale. So a bearish pattern in my view. I stick with what I said yesterday. We could that we could push once more to the downside, but as always, no guarantee. But this is all quite bearish. You can see we made a lower high here, and also the indicators on the short term show quite a negative tendency. So I've got nothing that currently would tell me that the price will go up from here and that we push to the upside, because first of all, the indicators are all showing negative, and here also the RSI in the red. We saw here something like a bullish divergence forming on the hourly, but they don't always play out. It's just an indicator, and you can currently see there is no bullish divergence anymore. Now that the price is going down, the RSI is following. So we clearly bounced off the 50 line here on the hourly RSI, which is something that Cardano did as well. We made a bearish cross here on the MACD, and also on the hourly, the ADX is giving us a short signal. So actually, you know, we wait for the breakout. I think it's going down, and that could then fulfill potentially what I said before, that we could go down, but maybe that's not the major move to the downside. I think, you know, looking at what gives us a target here, we could say normally with a double top, you take the height of that top, add it then to that neckline. It's not a real double top. You could call it one, but it's not. We didn't hit a horizontal resistance line here because that was a lower high, but still, let's just go with that. And then, yeah, that could take us down to that support level here at 40,500 roughly, here in that zone. And I'll put it onto the chart now, and then we can see in the next video if that played out. Let me just find that rectangle, so somewhere here, because that's where you can see that we had some support and resistance. Come on. It's always difficult with a laptop. Sometimes you mix up the left and the right button. All right. So, okay. So here, we had some support here, so I could imagine we come down in the next move down to here somewhere. But let's start with Cardano. And again, you found the timestamps in the video description. So where are we here? This is the 4-hour chart. Let's maybe start with a daily, and then we quickly go through the different time zones. So what are we doing here? In my view, we are still on the daily. We have pushed above that descending trend line. People were complaining yesterday that Cardano wasn't performing well. To be honest, I disagree. I think Cardano outperformed Bitcoin already before the summit, in the sense that Cardano actually, while Bitcoin, you can see that you can always compare these different patterns on the crypto charts with each other. And with Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin is still within this descending wedge that we are seeing, okay, or this channel. Bitcoin is still within that, and Bitcoin from that drop down here, from that drop down here at nearly 45,000 down to 40,000, it didn't recover much. Whereas Cardano actually dropped, and that was here, I think. It dropped here, that was on the 24th, from 229 to 205, but it recovered very, very quickly. It recovered very quickly, even went up to 250 very briefly. So it is still above that descending wedge, which is better than what Bitcoin is doing. We can find then support here potentially at that descending line should we drop once more. So it is performing better, and in the event there was probably again an element of buy the rumors, sell the news. But as I said yesterday in the video, expect a lot of volatility in this environment when something like a summit is going on. Honestly, don't play with the price, because there are so many people, so many players in the game who have more money available, who are controlling the price, who, you know, essentially this whole system of training anyway, it's a system that has been created that you know, not for the retail investor. Yes, we can all participate, but in the end it's extremely hard, and you need the right mindset and so on. So I always try to see the bigger picture, take the emotion out, and just chill out and watch it if you want to watch it. But that's essentially what happens, you know, in such a summit. The price is so volatile, you can't just, you know, normal predictions or whatever, or what you see on the charts, there's so much noise which just messes it up on days like that, just to understand that. But I think it performed quite well. Of course, it dropped yesterday, which is not great for everybody who expected another pump. And maybe that's coming today, maybe, you know, I don't know. I don't know which news will be announced. I have no idea, but I see the summit as some sort of a long-term benefit for Cardano. You know, all these partnerships which have been lined up, that's nothing that you see short-term in the price, in my opinion, unless there's really, really something above and beyond, like there would be a partnership with Tesla or Amazon, which I can't imagine is happening. If it is, amazing, and nobody would expect that, in my opinion, and the price could really, really shoot up radically, and it will, in my opinion, if you have a partnership announced like that. But with just the news that came out yesterday, there was nothing that could have pushed the price up, in my opinion. And I still stick with my scenario that we come down once more to the target zone here. As long as we haven't really seen that major move above 280, I still think that this is in play. Remember, we had the wave A correction, wave B correction, wave C correction, but as long as we don't get above 280, that is still in play here. So we could still come down once more and then complete the C wave. Yes, of course, it's not looking too bad. If you look at that here, that move here, you have maybe a wave 1, a wave 2 correction, and then a wave 3 forming now, which isn't complete yet. If that is the move to the upside, but it's hard to say at this stage. I still think we could still be in that overarching ABC correction. And if we take a look at the indicators here as well for Cardano, did say yesterday that we could now, that we saw actually that we came to the 50 line of the RSI, that we could bounce off there, and we did, and the price went down. So yeah, we stayed in the bearish range. The MACD is looking a bit better. It looks like we are making, on the MACD, you've seen something like a bullish divergence already. While the price was going down, the MACD is actually going up, even though we are still in the bearish range. That is the first good sign, in my opinion. It's been going on for a few days, but the ADX is still giving us a short signal here, with the red line being above the green line. Now let's take a look at what the 1 hour chart is doing, and then we can go to a comparison. With the 1 hour chart, we can currently finding very nice support here at the 225 level. Very good support. So we came all the way down in a lot of red candles here on the hourly. Now we're moving sideways. That might become something like a flag pattern, a channel which is currently forming. So watch out for that. There will be, and let me just zoom in, maybe it's a flag, maybe it's a, I think it looks more like a, it's very hard to see on the 1 hour chart anyway, so there are not enough candles yet. So it could be something like a channel, and that could then be something like a bear flag. We could drop once more, but again, you never know before the breakout happens, and with so many news coming up here, it's really hard to tell. Let's see if we can draw actually a trend line from that low to that. There might be something like an ascending trend line coming up. I'll leave it on the chart. We can see how valid that will be, because we need 3 touches. That might become the 3rd one. So I could imagine we drop once more, maybe down to that, sorry, maybe once more down to that 218 level, which was also a horizontal support and resistance level before. And that is pretty much where that line is currently running. So I could imagine if we drop down once more, which is, you know, again, the indicators are not telling me anything positive, to be honest. Also on the hourly not. If we're dropping down once more, then we could, then we could hit that line. So don't expect a crazy move to the upside right at this moment. At least it doesn't. The indicators don't tell me that. And what we can see here as well, the RSI is dropping. So at that point, when we get into the oversold range, maybe exactly when we hit that line here at 218, then I think we could go up once more on the hourly. The MACD doesn't really show a sign of recovery here, a little bit maybe, but still very deeply in the red. And also the ADX, and that's when I did the update video yesterday. I think we were just before making a bearish cross. I did say, you know, guys, that we could get a bearish cross now on the ADX, and we did get one, and at that point the price really dropped much further. And let's now finally compare the time frames. So what we have here left is the hourly. On the hourly, you have the price, you've got the ADX, you've got the stochastic RSI and the MACD. Here we've got the 4 hour chart in the middle, and on the right hand side we've got the daily. And if you take a look at just the ADX, you can see that all 3 time frames show us a short signal on the ADX, where the red line is above the green line, and don't really see a sign of recovery or a trend reversal here on any of them. Of course, the hourly is changing quickly. So yesterday only we did the bearish cross, and can't see that sign of recovery yet. What we can see is that we are now on the hourly in the oversold range of the stochastic. So I mean, this one is moving very quickly, the stochastic RSI. So we could see a short-term move to the upside, and also on the MACD here on the RSI, it is recovering a little bit. I think, you know, also that we've hit that support line. I think we can. I showed you that diagonal support line. I think we could come down to 218 and then maybe see a little bit of a recovery, because we've already dropped quite far here since yesterday. And but I still stick with my longer term, well, not longer term, but my view that we come down once more to 185 or 180 at this stage. On the 4 hour chart, very similar. the stochastic RSI is just going down into the oversold range, but the MACD has made a bearish cross just now. So it is all going down, in my opinion. The red line on the 4-hour chart is even going up higher, indicating a more bearish move, a short signal again. You know, we made that bearish cross here yesterday as well on the ADX, and the MACD is now making a bearish crossover. And on the daily, again, very similar. I think actually that is why I think we might actually drop down once more, because here on the daily we have seen that where the ADX is still showing in the red, the stochastic RSI is just going close to the overbought range, and it looks like that the stochastic here is doing something like a bearish cross here, and you can see that, and the trend reversal to the downside, which, you know, essentially is something like a sell signal as well, and we could push here to the downside once more. So don't be surprised if we drop once more. It's all based on the indicators here, all based on the price action. Can't see anything in the prices, and also, you know, that we haven't really hit that price target yet, and as long as we can't see that impulsive move to the upside, I still think we come into the target box once more. But as I said before in other videos, I think from then, in the next few months, maybe also starting in the next couple of weeks, we will continue our finalization of the wave 3, which is the longest impulsive wave, typically to the upside, and I gave you a target for that of at least 450, and I think the price will also determine on what Bitcoin is doing, and that is currently the update. As I said, later today I will give you an update about all the things that happened during the summit, and there will be another live stream. If you like the content, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and consider my second channel in the video description, which will teach you technical analysis. And also, if you want to become a channel member, you can find the join button next to the subscribe button. We chatted a lot yesterday about the summit. There's a Telegram group, Discord, and also live streams going on. All right, so hopefully you like that update, and then I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.